I'm going to share with you sort of some of the Best Buy life experience. In my life experience, that means we're sitting on something very precious, which is we're sitting on a place and time in which we may have an opportunity to do better than we've ever done before in our lives and discover a completely new way to take an existing resource and use that resource. And that there are two things that we will find out in that journey. Number one is the insight to know what to do it. We couldn't begin to figure out who it was. We had to discover who it was, and they most of the time existed inside the company. And number two was, in order to do it, we're going to have to follow something that is something we already know to be wrong. That insight and that voice is going to tell us to go do something in the most powerful way possible that everything in our industry's experience tells us is stupid. That, for me, operationally, has been the lesson of the experience I had for 36 years at Best Buy. And I want to share how that's sort of, try to do as briefly as possible because I know we're very time compressed, but try to share some of those key lessons where maybe you can kind of see where, as strange as that position, and believe me, when I said it at the board meeting, it did not get clear eyes in terms of everybody I was looking at when I was trying to describe it. One person did. But my life experience is one of the strangest journeys I could have imagined. And some of you I know in the room have heard it, so I'm not going to go through as little as I possibly can to still make this clear. But I'm somebody that was a lousy high school student, told not to go to college because I wasn't smart enough, who went to seminary because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and stumbled into a business career from being a clerk in a store, which was then Sound of Music became Best Buy. And I only got a business opportunity chance because, completely out of character, I got mad enough to ask for an opportunity to run a business in a point of absolute crisis where what was then a $4 million company losing $200,000 a year that couldn't make its payroll, the owner decided to take a wild bet on me as one of the two people to try to transform the company. And so everything about that journey, it was not prepared for, not expected, and not based on any known fact. As a matter of fact, the antithesis of what you probably should do if you went to any education about what to do in a crisis. And I did what I've never gotten a chance to do in a speech like this is tell what I did actually when I got a chance to lead. This is if you can imagine, this is a company that's 15 years old. It has 7 stores, actually 9, 2 outstate stores, and 7 stores in the Twin Cities. It's the number 3, this is an exciting business position for all of you who read Jack Welch. It's the number 3 seller of hobbyist audio equipment to people in the Twin Cities. And surprisingly, it's in bad shape. It has a lot of employees, though, of long tenure. It has a relatively low turnover rate because it's the raging drug era, of cocaine era, and there is another way to make a lot of money. And the consumer electronics industry is a very good place to find people to sell product to if you're making. So many of our people had second careers. And so we had guys who were making $13,000 a year and driving Corvettes. Anyway, I wasn't smart enough to be one of those, so this is anyway. When I got a chance to get out of that, I got a chance to get into the office and see if we could turn around this company, which had so many problems you couldn't believe. But it had one huge asset that I didn't understand at the time, which was its founder. And I got a chance to meet its founder, a guy named Dick Schultz. And he believed in 2 things. There were 2 things that were obvious about his character. One of which is he thought he was building a $50 million company, and that we were on the way to building a $50 million company. And 2, he was a man of tremendous personal integrity, founded in a set of beliefs. Now, I had no imagination to think he was anything but crazy about the $50 million company, but I liked and admired him as a human being, and I trusted him. And we set aside and we thought, what are we going to do? How are we going to figure out how to develop a viable company? We were so bad that the number 1 consumer electronics company in our area sold us the goods we sold. We didn't have any money, so we had to buy it as we sold it. And I know this is bad, isn't it? They sold us the product that we sold because they wanted us as a competitor. true. And, but anyway, so you had to break the rules, right? There was only one, you had to completely do something that was the opposite of what you knew how to do. And so the standard industry, for all time in that industry, the standard had been you advertised one thing in the paper, and you had a commissioned sales staff, and they sold them something else. And the reason you did is you took the most sexy product you possibly had, you put it in the newspaper, and that would attract the most customers. And you sold it at such a low price you couldn't possibly make money. But then you told the customer when they came in very effectively that it was a terrible piece of junk. And there was a really good product that was available for the customer if they just bought a different brand. And that was the way that the whole industry was formatted and made money. Well, I thought, what if we told the customer the truth? What if we told the customer, no, this actually, the thing we put in the paper that has no margin in it is actually good. Now, we could do that, and nobody else could. Why? Because we weren't making any money. So we did, and the long and short of it is within 3 years we put the other company that was out of business, the one that we'd been buying from.